Hey, Yusuf.
Hello.
Hi.
Is my mic okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Hi, Esther.
Hi.
All right. We're just, I guess we're gonna wait. Should we wait one more minute for everyone else to join?
Yeah, we got Zanga in. Hi, Zanga.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And how are you?
Doing good. Hi, Esther. Rania, do you want to check in or just message your friends one and we can get started? Then they can join in.
Yeah, they're joining right now.
If y'all can, turn your cameras on, it'll be nice.
Yeah, it would make me feel a lot less nervous if everyone else's camera is on.
My camera is not working. It says it's not connected. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So we have two Yusufs here, right? Yusuf 1, Yusuf 2. Okay, over
I'm
to you.
using my phone for my camera because my camera on my computer doesn't show.
Okay. Oh, we have some nice new people joining us. Over to you, Rania. All the best.
Okay, thank you. So hi everyone. So my name is Rania, and so welcome to my stakeholder session, kind of. So yeah, so we're gonna be starting off with like a few activities, I guess, and then I'm gonna tell you a bit about my business that I came up with. So let me just share my screen. Right. Okay, so this is the right, we're just gonna get started. So if everyone could just like unmute and say where you're from and where you live, then we could just like get to know each other, kind of.
Do you want to introduce yourself first, Rania?
Yeah. Okay. So my name is my name is Rania, and I live in the UK, but I'm half Polish and half Palestinian. So yeah.
My name is Zanga. I live in South Africa. Oh wait, I'm from South Africa. I live in the province called Gauteng. Yeah, I'm Venda.
That's cool. Anyone else wanna say where they're from?
Hey guys, my name is Ramratile. I'm from South Africa and I live in the Northwest Province and I am a Motswana.
Okay. Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Nada, and I live in Saudi Arabia.
Hi, this is Shoma here from India.
Hi, my name is Aim. I'm Syria and I live in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Hi, my name is
Um,
Aisha. Okay, you can go.
okay, I'm Yusuf. I'm from Egypt, but I live in Qatar and I have lived here for the past 15 years.
Hello, I'm Fatma. I'm from Tunisia and I live in Tunis.
All right, so we could get started on the activity now. So the whole activity is based on stereotypes, and it's going to be like a quick 10-minute kind of icebreaker. And I wanted everyone, I mean, not everyone, but each person can just like ask another person a stereotype about their country. So for example, I can start off by asking, 1 second. So I'll be asking Nada, since she lives in Saudi Arabia. And is it true that every person rides camels? Because it's a very common stereotype. So I was just wondering if it's true.
Actually, no one here. Actually, no one here rides camels to work or school. We all use cars. That's how I go to places. So I don't know why people say camels.
Okay. Would anyone else want to ask a stereotype about another person from, or like where they live or where they're from? Yusuf, you live in Qatar, right?
Yeah, so a lot of people would assume, like, especially in the Western countries, like if you live in like Qatar or any Middle Eastern country, like especially that like Qatar is the richest country in the world. So like a lot of stereotypes, especially in the Western countries, would be like everyone's rich here, but that's not true.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna ask. Is everyone rich, or just people like? Do people only drive around with Lamborghinis and Ferraris all the time?
No, I don't see, like, I see Lamborghinis maybe once a month, but it's not like that common here. Most people drive Land Cruisers or something like that. So, yeah.
I guess most people just assume it's either you're driving a Lamborghini or it's a desert.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Would anyone else want to ask another question? A stereotype, maybe? Is anyone here from South Africa?
Yes,
So I have
I'm
a
from South
question.
Africa.
Yeah, I have a question, which is a very common stereotype as well. Is it true that wild animals just roam around?
Lol.
They don't. Like, guys, we have zoos, we have animal parks. Like, it's like any other country. So it's no, they don't roam around. They most like in zoos and national parks most of the time.
Is it always hot in South Africa, or do you guys like have different weather?
It for my province, it's always hot because we are inland, but for other provinces, the temperature varies. So yeah, but where I'm from in South Africa, it's always hot.
I have a question about India.
Africa.
Sorry?
Is it true that
We can't hear you. I think your mic is not working. You can type it in the chat.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I'm from West Africa. If anybody has any questions.
Your mic, you're not very clear. Can you repeat that?
I said I'm from West Africa. If anybody has any questions.
Does anyone have any questions about West Africa?
I do. Wait, West Africa is the part where there's Nigeria and Ghana and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. it's a stereotype. Apparently, Nigerian jollof is the best. Is it true?
I'm from Nigeria, so I'm gonna have to side with my own country. So
You weren't very
Okay.
clear. Can you repeat that? Hello?
I said I'm from Nigeria, so I'm gonna have to side with my own country.
Okay. That's great. Does anyone have any other questions so we can move on? Okay.
I can answer some about India if anyone has it.
Oh, I have one.
Sure, go ahead.
Apparently,
have-
Indians are selfish.
Sorry?
Apparently, Indians are selfish.
Really? Okay, this is the first that I've heard. I mean, at least
I've done
people
my
are,
research, and apparently that's what it says.
that they're selfish. This is like the first I'm hearing, but at least the people I know, and I don't think that good stereotype holds true. But I mean, that's, I guess, human nature to be selfish at times.
I guess.
But I
Yeah.
don't think that stereotype holds true. I mean, definitely people ask me if you eat curry every day. I mean, like, no, we don't eat curry, but selfish, I've not heard that before. But good question, though. Yes,
I
Fatma.
was gonna ask that. I was gonna ask, like, do Indians eat curry every day? Because I actually heard that. So
Well, honestly, no, they don't. And a fun fact, if you all think that tikka masala is an Indian dish, it isn't an Indian dish. It doesn't really originate from here. It's kind of got British influence in it as well. So that's how a lot of cuisine in India has influences from all parts of the world. But yes, Yusuf, we don't have curry every day. At least in my household, no. I mean, we have like different cuisines. I mean, I love different cuisines. I love Thai. I love, Italian. But yeah, that's about it. Fatma, you had something to ask?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Is it true that people still use elephants as a form of transportation?
As much as I would want to say that, I hope that was a reality, but I mean, definitely it's against animal life. But no, we don't. Animals are in the zoos or in their own natural habitats. I guess, like when we had kings and centuries ago, when that was there, that was pretty much the only mode of transportation because there were no vehicles at that time. But I mean, now everyone has their own two-wheeler and four-wheeler. So sorry, Fatma, no elephants here.
Let's move
I
on.
have a question
Yeah.
for India. Um, okay, first question is how many cuisines do you have and why is it cultural for Indians to share their let me use I think no Ramadan is not in India. You know your New Year in India, you guys have a name for it. I forgot it. Forgive me. Like your New Year, like New Year's Day, yours is like in October for like the normal calendar, right? So like y'all have this thing of sharing the food. What does it symbolize? And I'm in love with Indian food, specifically
Right,
roti. So yeah.
right. Yeah, sorry. And what was your first question?
Is why do Indians love sharing food during their new year? That day
Right.
where you guys cross over
Yeah.
into the new year.
Right. So that's a great question, Azanga. And two things. So Indians, we follow the Indian Hindu calendar. So we have the New Year based around that. Now, the interesting fact is this calendar pretty much works around the harvest season in India. And each state, we have like different states have different food cultures. So, like the northern part of India would have their harvesting during the month of October, November. The other regions have it in different times. Like the harvest season, the peak harvest season is in a different time. So each state has a New Year calendar built around that. That is pretty much religious. And I will not be the right person to answer why it happens and why we have so many New Years. And Indians love celebrating with others. So what we do is we make a lot of food because it's the harvest festival. It's cooked and it's shared with all. That's how the sharing thing comes. And roti, as you said, roti is made from the grain. So that's like the new grain that is harvested, that is cooked. if you trace back, it's kind of a cheap way to share the same thing with a lot of people. So that's how it goes on to sharing. But with roti, you will have sweets and other grains and other things that go on with it as well. But definitely, it's a way of sharing your harvest and calling in everyone to just be a part of it. Hope that helps.
What is the day that your New Year's Day? What is it called?
Right. So in certain areas, like certain parts, they call it Navratri. Some states would call
Okay.
it Gudi Padwa. Like each state has a different way how they call it. Some states call it Baisakhi.
Um,
Some states call it Novabarsho. I mean, that is pretty much what I can remember now. I don't speak all the languages. I can speak just 6. So sorry, I can send you more on this though. That's a great point.
please do.
Okay. I think we should move on to the next topic now because we're running out of time. Okay. Right. So next we're gonna do a father-son activity. That's just what it's called. I'm not gonna give you much context about it because we're gonna come back to it once we're done with it. So I'm gonna give you a scenario. It's gonna be like 3 lines, a little tiny paragraph. You're gonna have to read it, and then first thing that comes to your mind, don't think about it. First thing that comes to your mind, you type it out in the chat, but don't send it until I count to 3. Did everyone get it, or should I repeat? Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next slide. So once you read it, type it out in the chat, and then when I count to 3, you send it. I'm gonna give you like 5 minutes.
I see the slides.
Sorry?
Yes.
Can you type it in the chat because I can't hear you?
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So we just have to read this, and then the first thing that comes in mind, we have to
Type
send it
in
in the chat. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Wait 1 second. No one said anything. Can everyone see the slides?
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh no.
You're on the right slide now. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So can everyone send their answers now? What, like, the answer to the scenario? Just don't think too much about it. Just say the first thing that comes to your mind. Right. Is that everyone? Okay. We're gonna move on to the next slide now. So this slide says we're all a little biased. Would you agree? So there's a term called implicit bias, which is like an unconscious association or belief or attitude towards a social group. So it's just like when you associate 2 things with each other, like peanut butter and jelly, but obviously in like real life terms. So with like having this point in mind, we'll go back to the answers right now. If you look at the chat, most people assume that Sturgeon was a grandparent, twins separated at birth, affair. Right, the closest person was Danga. saying that the father was kidnapping the son to get back to the mother. I'm assuming that you think the surgeon is the mother, which is correct. So I'm guessing most people assume that because we mostly associate surgeons with males, and no one really thought about the fact that the surgeon could be the mom. So yeah, it's a little test just to prove that we're all a little biased, even though we don't think about it. Right. Does anyone want to say anything?
I would have never guessed that, to be
Yeah,
honest.
when I
Because
first,
in my mind, the surgeon was a man.
yeah, when I first saw it, I thought the same thing. I was like, that makes no sense. So yeah, we're gonna move on to the next thing right now, which is culture. So we all think that we know everything about culture and that we know most of the traditions, which are very common. And so this next activity is really going to prove whether you do know them or not, kind of. So in this activity, you're going to have like two cultural like norms, I guess, displayed. And you're going to have to you're going to see whether you know them or not, like share in the chat, or you can unmute to say whether you know these or not. Okay, so they're displayed on the screen right now. And just read them, share in the chat, or unmute if you know what they are.
Can you give a hint? Is it like in Africa, in America, in Asia, in Europe? Where is it?
Well, if I tell you where it is, it kind of gives away the whole thing. But I'm gonna tell you, they're both very common. But the first one, I think, well, okay, I'm not very educated on this, but I would say it originated in the UK. Could be wrong. Could be maybe like, because the UK took over, invaded India for some time. So I know that kind of like, just think about the UK for the first one. And second one, I would say America. I think these are stereotypes, but.
So do we put them in the chat box?
Yeah, put them in the chat box. And if someone would want to unmute and like say what they think they are. Does anyone have any ideas?
Okay, I think the second one is the Native American. It just makes sense. I can't see white people doing this. So I think it's the Native Americans. And in the first one, I at first thought it was the Kenyans, and then you said the UK. So the Scottish.
Right. These sound really weird, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Would anyone like to unmute and share any ideas? Thank you, Zanga. Okay. So we're gonna go through the answers for now. And the first one is having a cup of tea. It is, yeah, that's right. It's worded so weirdly, and like you start thinking about it and you're like, how is this normal? Like, how do we do this in our everyday life?
Is this like in Asia? The first one?
See, it could be. Yeah, it could be. I mean, everyone drinks tea. But I don't know where it originated from. I need to do some research on that. Wait. I don't even know much about these cultures, so. Okay, does anyone have, so now that you know the first one is really obvious, like tea, does anyone have any ideas about the second one? It's very American. That's a stereotype, I think, but it is very American.
Or
Um, for the, sorry? Okay.
Is
Follow-
it I
Yeah.
think it's well, in America they call it jerky, but in South Africa they call it biltong.
Okay, I think that's pretty close. The answer is hamburgers. Yeah, we eat slaughtered animals in a disc shape, which are fried and just have like juices running down your mouth. So yeah. Right. Would anyone want to share anything? Were you surprised? Were you shocked? You can type in the chat. Okay.
The first one shocked me. I
Yeah,
didn't see it coming. I don't know why.
it shocked me as well. Right.
The second one for me, like I did not expect that. So
But it all makes sense, like. So yeah. Okay, so moving on to the next topic. So what are some normalized things that you see in your country that shouldn't be in your opinion? See, like now have you seen like the two examples that we just gave, which are tea and hamburgers? I mean, they're obviously okay and normal, but like if you think about everyday things that you see and like you think of them in that way, they might sound really weird to you, or like you've never realized how like in like not like how I want to say unethical, but not really, like how just weird they are and they shouldn't be. So, for example, what I've observed in Saudi Arabia, when I used to go to school there, I've been to, I guess, like 5 different schools in Saudi Arabia. And in every school that I've been to, I've noticed this like unconscious racial segregation where there's always South Asians on one side of the room and then Arabs on the other side. And no one ever speaks about it. It's like I've never heard of it before. I've never heard anyone speak about it until I sat down and thought about it for a really long time. It's really like you rarely see South Asians and Middle Easterns being friends together. They hate on each other a lot of the time and think that they're better than the other. So that is something that is like very, it's really normal. Like you walk into a classroom and it's like, yeah, I'm going to this side, they go to that side. Would anyone, do you guys agree? Aim, Nada, do you guys live in Saudi Arabia? Have you observed that?
I have something to say. It's kind of similar since I live in Qatar, so it's like almost similar. For here, like this is similar to what you said, but so like a lot of like Asian countries like India, Nepal, Bangladesh, and like they work in like the low income jobs like in construction, which is not that good. And then you see like the white people, they're the ones who are making like the most money. They like work in offices or like doctors and stuff like that. And then there's like Filipinos and stuff like that. They're the ones that like work at shops, which is kind of strange. Yeah, like it's different by nationality, the incomes and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure it's also like in all Gulf countries. And yeah.
Yeah, it's very common in Gulf countries. Even in Saudi Arabia, you see a lot of white people. It's like if you have a British passport, you can get any job you want, the highest job, as long as you have the passport. And I'm like saying this from my mom's experience from like being in Saudi Arabia at a job that she worked at. She could have more experience, qualifications, everything than like a person like with like a white person from like those like countries like America or like UK, but they would have a higher income. So yeah, and it's just like no one really talks about it. I mean, obviously people are annoyed, but no one really does anything about it. It's just like that's the way it is. So yeah, have you guys observed anything else in your countries? I would really like to hear. Or if you just want to add to this, what I've just said.
Well, I'm from South Africa, and something that is related to race. Well, not okay. Since this is about race, right? In South Africa, we have this thing of we have all united, right? We are Indians, blacks, coloreds, white people can go to the same school. It's just that we're still divided. It's not something that we speak about, but because of generational passed downs that were told from older people and our elders, that this is what the whites did to this is what the blacks did to the whites, etc., etc. We had in South Africa, we also had segregation, but it's called apartheid here in South Africa. So that is something that still happens within schools. You find blacks with blacks, whites with whites, Indians with Indians. It's not that we don't befriend each other. We do befriend each other. Like we can be friends with white people and Indian people. It's just that it's really rare to find such a group, a versatile group, a multicultural group, because we're used to black on black people understand each other more, white on white people understand each other more. I mean, as years go on, other cultures start catching on to I want to say the black language of South Africa, and they start somehow, some way becoming a part of us, but it's still a really long way to go. That is something that's normalized in our country, is the fact that we've all accepted that we have freedom with quotation marks, not really freedom, but freedom with quotation marks, but they still like, it's the little things that you can see that still have effect on us from the segregation that we had that finished in 1994. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, I guess all around the world you find similar things. Does anyone else have something to say?
Yeah, in Saudi Arabia, one of the things that we have is Saudi people have more authority over everything than others. So, like, you could say you're Arab, but you're not Saudi. You don't have as much rights as Saudis do. And I think this could apply to like in all countries, maybe. The country you're in, it depends on your nationality, but just like Rania said, if someone's like from US or UK and they came here, they could get more job opportunities than a person from a different Arab country, or like a Saudi and US citizens or a UK citizens have more authority over the rest of the citizens here.
Yeah, I've observed the same thing that you just said. So would anyone else like to add anything to anything? Fatima, what can you tell us about Tunisia? Like, I haven't heard about anything from there. If you can't unmute, you can type in the chat. Hello? All right. Maybe she passed out or something. Okay, let's move on to the next thing then. Right, so that is the end for the whole session. It was a bit short, I guess, but so this is about my business that I've come up with, which is called Share Relate, because it's about sharing your kind of experience, and you can relate to others who have shared as well. So this, like, it's going to be a website, like kind of an official website, but the main, like, one of the main objectives is to keep like a very friendly vibe, and so that everyone can feel comfortable, so that they could share like report any incidents that have happened to them for now, it is only going to be to do with like racial, like any racism incidents, racial incidents that somebody has faced. So yeah, and what was I going to say? So yeah, the whole thing is basically going to be like filling out a form when you want to report something, and that form will keep you anonymous. They don't require your name, just like what country you're reporting from and where the incident took place. Then your like incident or like what happened to your story will be published so that everyone can kind of like add, like not add to it, but they can like reach out to you and just start a conversation with you. But all the data, like where it took place, what year it took place in, all of that, like your gender, age, it will be taken into like to analyze the data, like in like statistics and stuff, which will then be like sold to like government officials and yeah, so like that way the data will be like more accurate, because it's like really common that there's like misinformation. So then like racism rates of a country will be inaccurate because not everyone is reporting what has happened to them, because they see no point. Like the government is not going to like do anything about it, or if you report it, they're not really going to help you. But this way, in the long term, when they analyze the data and they see that, for example, in this area, we're seeing like a lot of like crime rates or like these kinds of things, they will start focusing on the areas that like need more focus, and like it just makes the government have more information and more accuracy when it comes to these rates. So yeah, in the long term, maybe like in the future, we would like to sorry, I just forgot what I was going to say. Expand into like other areas, like for example, reporting rape, assaults, and domestic violence, all of that, which will take place on this website. So if anyone has any questions, you can go ahead and ask anything.
It's not really a question, but what your plan is and your business is, I find it very useful. And it's a great thing to do, especially in our generation where racism is very common, and it's gonna help a lot of people, hopefully. And yeah, I think it's a very great thing to do.
Thank you. Why did you choose this idea? So yeah, why did I choose this idea? Because so my problem that I wanted to solve was racism rates. I mean, just racism in general, and it really bothered me how there's like a lot of misinformation and the inaccuracy. So like, which like the media doesn't cover. So that's why I wanted to solve this, and that's how I came up with the idea. So thank you everyone for coming. I hope you enjoyed this session. And if you would like to ask any more questions, you could always like reach out to me or anything. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Rania, for having the session, and I would definitely encourage all of Rania's friends to come and support her on her day of graduation. It was really nice to meet you all. She graduates on 29th, and it'll be nice to have all of you support her and just be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you for having us, Rania. Bye.
Coming.